My name is Cypher Morrison, and this week in car audio. Tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. This week in car audio. Tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in, 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 tune in. This week in car audio. Yeah. Tune in. This week in car audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, co-hosted by Mr. Jeffrey Fernandez. What's good, Jeffrey?
Hey, nothing much, Doug. Nothing much. How you doing?
Oh, just doing. Did a little bowling this weekend.
Oh, how'd that work
Um,
out?
Not horrible. I got sixth in one
Ah,
tournament, first in another, and third in another. So, not horrible. You know, not bad for an old white guy.
were you just like off your game this weekend, or just
No.
thought somebody else should win?
Hey, I
Give
did.
somebody
I
else a
did
chance?
fine. I did fine. Um, you know, speaking purely as an entertainment, I may have made a little over $1,000 profit for the weekend. So
Ah,
there's Darren popping in. I got
cool.
I got some tests popping in for Jeffrey's here.
Yes,
All
test,
right,
test.
I am currently sharing. So what'd you do this last week, Jeffrey?
Um,
Just work?
oh, I actually worked on a couple of productions.
Really?
Yeah, this past week. First one was a commercial, and then the second one was a television show. But the commercial was actually filming in downtown Dallas. That's about 3 hours south of where I am. So, yeah, I had to make the drive out there, and it wasn't the first time. So it's kind of getting easier. But it almost seems like it was like a regular drive when I was living in San Bernardino, driving to LA for, the television shows and stuff like that. But
Okay.
um,
Just commercials or?
the first one was a commercial, which was kind of cool. He was filming in downtown Dallas, so it was on a public street, and normally we're not really allowed to talk about what kind of commercial it is, but
Uh
there's so many people watching that everybody was taking selfies, taking video. So it's like if somebody really wanted to, they can kind of see what was going on. But it was a commercial with Matthew McConaughey was in it, and
Well, that wasn't a far drive for him. I mean, he lives
no,
out there,
yeah,
right?
right, and it was Woody Harrelson too.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Man, I got out of there like 2 a.m. Drove back, and then I ended up getting booked on a television show in downtown Dallas, so that wasn't as far. But yeah, that was I don't know. It was one of those what we call cattle calls where there was like a ton of people. Like you see these stadium scenes all the time. That's what a cattle call is. It's just a bunch of people. And fortunately, I was booked with my vehicle, so I got to hang out in my car and do some driving on film and stuff like that. And
Really?
yeah, it which was kind of scary because it was in downtown. It was on another live street, and a fender bender happened like right behind me. That it did involve me, luckily. But yeah, I was like, man, this is kind of like a cluster. But I made it out alive.
Steve Willis says, "Sorry guys, hockey's on. Love y'all. Be safe." So I guess he's not gonna watch us. He's gonna watch hockey. Um,
Ah, bummer.
that's cool. So you had a couple of commercials, getting back into the swing of things, of starting to do more and more television spots, huh? And TV,
Yeah,
hopefully movie.
I signed up with the age, well, not kind of like a agency type thing out here,
Mm-hmm.
or casting, I should say.
Right.
And yeah, so fortunately they had some good jobs that I submitted for and was able to get. So
Cool. What else was I gonna tell you? Oh, so we got that happening. Oh, wanted to say thank you to our sponsors. Our sponsors, Badass Sounds by Steve Bass and E-Box Design and Install. Thank you guys for supporting us. If you guys feel the need and want to purchase something from somebody who supports the things that you like, support the people that support us. So go ahead and let them know you found out about them through T.W.I.C.A or through This Week in Car Audio. That always helps everybody. Steve Willis says, I have to stream from my phone. Oh, so because it's not a local hockey team, he has to watch it. So I don't think they do hockey out where Jay's from, because I don't think snow ever falls in his area. But we'll introduce our guest this week, Mr. Jay Kough, Super Street 5 Plus World Champion. How's it going, Jay?
Very good, sir. How you doing?
That's very good. So where are you located at?
I am just an hour north of Nashville, around Bowling Green.
So you're one of the Tennessee base racers.
I am, yes.
Oh, you base race in your van?
I do not. I just did even
You just associate with those guys.
Exactly. I support them. They support me. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a great group of guys for sure.
Yes, they are. Steve Willis says it's the San Jose Sharks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is a local guy. That's why he's got to watch it. This is about as local hockey gets for us in Northern California. Anyway, yeah, so you're part of the Tennessee Base Race Group. Why don't you tell us what vehicle you have, what's inside it, and what you got going on there?
All right. So we ran last year a 93 Caravan with 8 compact Neo V3s Sundown and 16 Salt 8Ks and a whole lot of lithium.
A whole lot of lithium. Well, I mean, how many? 16 8Ks?
16 8Ks, yes, sir.
Yeah, that doesn't just magically produce power, in case people don't know.
Right, yeah.
You don't magically just get 8,000 watts out of the amp just because it says it.
Right, exactly.
So, all right. So let's start. So now we know what you're running, whatnot. That's the end of the story. Let's talk about the beginning of the story. Oh, Jody Green popping in from the New Zealand people. Jody, I need a suggestion. I'd love to get one of your guys on here, possibly next week or the week after. So hit me up in Messenger, and let me figure a guy out for next week. Would be great to get somebody from your area. Their season's just starting because it's summertime down there, right? So,
is it?
Yeah, because it's opposite, right? So like they never seen a white Christmas in that part of the world. So, oh, Steve Mick. Somebody posted Steve Mick. What's up, Steve Mick? Says Darren.
Oh, is he?
I don't know.
Is
Is
he
Steve in the
chat?
chat? I don't know. I would love to get Steve Mick on
Watching?
here. I've tried to get him on a few times. That'd be cool. Anyway, so yeah, let's go with for you, Jay. When you first started in competition, or what was your introduction? An uncle, a dad, a brother, some guy you just walked by? What was the thing that said, I got to do this?
So honestly, since I was 16, I've always had subs, in a little system in whatever vehicle I had. And then I joined the Navy in '98 after I graduated, and I was stationed in Virginia Beach. And 2003, Steve Stern brought Mecca out to a local audio shop, and that's where I hung out at. So I saw the flyer, and I was like, wow, I actually didn't know people competed. So I did the little local show, 312s in the trunk, and of course I won my first little trophy and basically got bit by the bug there. So I competed on and off throughout my Navy career as I could. And then probably 2011, I picked it backed up with Mecca. And then Gary Fletcher introduced me to DV Drag in 2015. And he said, come to the big stage. So that's where I went.
There you go. Yeah, for the people that are watching online or watching, listening online or at home, whatever. He has a lot of trophies right behind him, and they're big. So apparently, he's one of those guys that likes the big trophies for sure.
Yeah.
When I first started becoming a judge, um, I sat down with my teammates at the time. That was Soundwaves was my team, and we sat down and we go, "Hey, if I'm going to start judging shows, what are the things that people like about shows, or what gets a person hooked and want to get started?" Matt R. poking in with some eyes. Um, and what we came up with was a trophy and a nice trophy.
Hmm.
For your first time competitors, it's not necessarily for somebody that's already been to 100 shows or whatever, right? Because those guys don't care much about the trophies. They like that. Some of the guys really like them and want to keep them, but in general, the reason we do trophies at my shows is because we want the first experience at a show to be something special for the guys. And so that's why we don't ever do just a point show or just a money show or whatever. It's about the trophy so that people have something to walk away with. So,
Yeah, I saw Jay shaking his head when you were mentioning how people don't do it for the trophies. I mean, but you got a whole bunch of trophies back there.
So okay, I should clarify. I don't care anything about a trophy under probably 3 foot. Every
There's a height.
all of my 6 foot trophies represent title. All my titles
Mm,
in Mecca or drag, and those are the
mhm.
ones that I work my butt off all
Yeah.
year for. So
yeah.
I have a bunch of little ones. I ironically do have some from Nopi, from Virginia. My first
Oh.
Uh huh.
from 2002, 2003, that era. I still have those and a bunch of little ones. I just never donated. But yeah, what means the most to me is the big ones and my rings for sure.
All right.
Oh
Eric
yeah, I
Hansen
agree.
says he just needs points. That's what he says. Um, the so at my particular shows, a 1X first place is 28 inches. At a 2X, first place is 3 feet. And at a 3X, first place is 4 feet. So those are the trophies I give away at my. And I always do first through third in all classes. So Matt R says, hit the thumbs up, like, and
And
subscribe. That helps us, especially subscribing on YouTube. We're pretty stuck at like 450 or 430 or whatever subscribers. So, we'd like to get to our 1,000 mark to start, monetizing. That would be freaking awesome. All right, so you got started in Mecca. Oh, by the way, thank you for your service with the Memorial Day
yes,
just
thank you.
happened.
Yep, thank you.
Mhm.
Appreciate that. And you said you did the Navy.
Correct.
So what did you do? What was your MOS?
So I was a ABH. I was a firefighter on the flight deck for 8.5 years.
Okay, on a carrier.
It was actually a LHD, which is the second largest ship. Just it was 844 feet long, just shy of the carrier.
Okay. So all right. So yeah. So you did firefighter. Did you put that trade to use after you got out of the military?
No, I did not. I I worked for the post office, and that's what I knew that I wanted to do before I even got out.
Okay.
So I've been to the post office for 16 years. Yeah,
Civil servant to civil servant.
right.
That's
Nice.
cool. People have that as goals. In my family, it was real common to join the military, right? So I know you haven't watched a lot of the shows and whatnot, but definitely in my family, I thought I was going military all the way up until the day I got married. My plan, ever since I can remember, was join the Marine Corps, and that's the general people in my family are Marine Corps or Navy. You know, I got a couple of Air Force, but most I would say are Marine Corps. So, But not like I said, appreciate what you guys do. I have an affinity for military service. I understand that the people that join are giving away their youth, literally, to serve the country. It's a very good time of your life that could be very beneficial, and you guys voluntarily give that time of your life up. It's not that you don't get anything in exchange, but it is a voluntary thing, right? It's nobody's forcing you to do it, and realistically, it helps protect the freedoms we do have. So I do
Okay.
appreciate the military folk for sure. I mean, we even had Santos on here, right? I mean, celebrating his son every year.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, De Los Santos.
Yep. Del
So,
Santos. Yeah. Steve.
so yeah, Steve. So, I mean, like I said, it's a to me, it's a big deal. I do veteran. I used to host a fishing tournament out here for veterans. So we would donate the money to the local veterans society, or it was the American Legion,
Right.
because our VFW where I live is the oldest continuous VFW in the United States.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so they've been like 1908 or something like that, and they're single digit number, so um, they're very profitable. So they didn't need the money, so they said, hey. Why don't you do it to the American Legion? So then I started supporting the American Legion with doing fishing tournaments and stuff. So, but anyway, besides that, so you started competing. Was there anybody that, like, other than Steve Stern getting you, offering that to you? Was there somebody that you kind of took you under their wing and said, "Hey, let's put a wall in this thing"?
Um, not not until 2011 when I was competing at shows, team solo, and
Hmm.
Gary Fletcher was walking around with
That's a
some
name.
skull
Yeah.
in his skull in his mouth, and I had some skull in my mouth, and he wanted to look at my truck, and he immediately started pointing out things that would make it louder just by
Hmm.
looking at it, and I was in shock. And I just knew he knew his stuff. So,
Yeah.
needless to say, I joined his team, Deep Revolution, in 2012, and I'm now the captain 12 years later of that team. And yeah, proudly wear that on my back. And
Yeah.
yeah, he's definitely taught me everything I knew, everything I know. Him and Mike Smiley, I'll
Well,
give
there you
them
go.
all the credit.
That's another good name. Jeffrey, who was the guy that took you under their wing and kind of said, "Hey, let's do this"?
I think maybe it might have been Chad Geary.
That's a solid dude.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I kind of, he was working at a shop back then, and I was kind of building my stuff, and he knew his stuff, so I kind of hit him up, and had him build my car, and I probably would say I learned about 80% of of what I knew about SPL through him. So,
He's
yeah.
an awesome guy to learn from.
And you always tell people that you want to surround yourselves with, like-minded individuals that kind of, you guys uplift each other. So I
Uh
like to
huh.
say that he was one of the guys that, wanted me to do better, or maybe just talk crap about what I had and then just ended up building me something louder. But yeah, so yeah, that's definitely a must to
Yeah.
find like-minded individuals such as yourself to be successful.
Yep. Hey, we got our first comment on Twitch. I don't know how to share it up here.
Which,
Yeah. So somebody digs by the way 7, BTW7 says, what's up? So that's the first time I've seen a comment come from Twitch,
cool.
which is cool. All right. So that was Jeffrey. That was you. Um, so backstage or whatever, we were kind of discussing, because let's start with this, the DB Revolution thing. Um, why don't you tell us about that team? How many members? What you guys do? What organizations you guys compete in? And I mean, Mr. President, Glow a little
Captain.
bit.
He's a captain.
No, I'm the
Captain.
captain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Captain, tell us all about your guys.
All right, so Gary and Alicia Fletcher started DB Revolution back in the early 2000s, and their first member was actually a guy named Justin, and he still kind of hangs around here and there. He's an old school member, but I was the first active member to start continuously going to multiple org finals. And Gary's mindset, his dream was, the smaller the team, the less drama. So he didn't want he didn't want just anybody can join type deal. We had to go through, probationary period, then get voted on and stuff. Anyway, so we are very small. It's 10 or less, but we're very small and very tight knit circle. I mean, you guys know Patrick Listener. I mean, so he's a big voice for us, Mr. Knowall. And so, but anyways, we hit the big shows. We like to hit Slamology, Freeze Fest sometimes, Triple Fest, basically any big shows, double, triple point events, and then obviously finals.
I haven't seen you over at Autorama.
Where's that
Just
at?
saying. Sacramento. 5X weekend.
Okay.
Hey,
all right.
It's a 5X weekend.
Well, I guess anywhere we can drive to. That's not expensive. Yeah.
So, no, that's cool. Nick,
what is I had a quick question. What does the name DB Revolution mean, or what is the meaning behind that?
So, it's obviously DB is just like decibel, right? So I mean, that's what it is. Decibel Revolution. And that's just the name he came up with, and kind of in the Got Milk font, it's Got DB. That's kind of our slogan. And yeah, so that's just
revolution as in like a takeover.
Right, exactly.
Nice.
Nick Semino piping in here says J.A. Kough, one of the most humble guys I've had a pleasure to ever meet. Was always a pleasure being in the lanes against the DB Revolution team. Great bunch of people.
Yeah,
and we got another one on Twitch. Says hello. Says 21XT4. So, hey. I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. I think I know who that is.
Oh, you know who that is.
He's on Twitch too?
I guess so. Is that Eric? Oh, it's 21XT4. There you go. So he's checking it out on Twitch. All right. That's right. He has that 21-inch, huh? Yeah. That's his subwoofer. Anyway, yeah, so DB Revolution. There was there ever a time that you just was like, dude, I got to be better than this? Was it like a single vehicle that inspired you to take that next step, or that you saw it and you're like, oh no, I'm going to either beat that guy or I'm going to be better than him? Who is that guy for you?
Great question. So mine's always been a crazy, uphill climb, because I started, obviously in a trunk car, like most people, I guess. And then, my wife was pregnant with my first kid, and I had a extended cab truck, and I ripped out the seat just so I could get bigger subs and more amps in there. So then we was no longer able to take that vehicle. So that's the one. I got my first 60 in Mecca in that truck. So I was really proud of that. Well, it wasn't enough power. It wasn't enough cone surface area. So I bought
it's
Ryan.
Never enough.
Yeah. So Ryan Poundstone's old van, the 93 Caravan. I got that 2000, let's see, probably, I think it was 13, 14. And so I competed with that van for 2 or 3 years, and I never could get to 70. I think 69, was the loudest we could get out of it. 69 and some change, and all I wanted was my first 70. And of course, I think that was kind of the time frame that Terras was starting to rear their head and everything.
Yeah.
And of course, Sundown had theirs. And so I think in 17, that's probably the answer to your question. If you can't beat them, join them. So I bought the Terra. I competed with the Terra for 2 years. I got my first 70. It didn't feel like a legit 70 because it wasn't an American vehicle.
Mhm.
I take that, as you will, but there's
I
just,
think people share the
yeah,
same
that
sentiment
right.
as you.
There's
So
just a difference in a 70,
yeah.
an American vehicle, and a Euro. So um, I wanted to go back to my roots at that point, and so I drove down to Georgia and bought a '93 Caravan with 40,000 original miles,
Wow.
and we gutted it. We gutted it. Went to work on it and built a 5 Plus, and that's where I am. So my heart has always been with the Caravan, as well as Gary and Patrick, of course. So yeah.
Yeah, it almost seemed like all of you guys had a caravan, right?
Yeah, we
Now,
do.
why is it that the caravan is like everybody's choice? What would you say?
Well, the way it's shaped. I mean,
Uh-huh.
obviously, one of my biggest rivals is the Astro van, so you can get more
Right.
cone surface area in there. But as we can see, I mean, a lot of times it ain't about cone surface area.
Mhm.
So I think to answer your question, Gary Fletcher was just kind of the caravan whisperer. He knew about big ratios and band passes and everything. So
Mhm.
um, he shed his light on that. So I think we just got so used to the caravans and what to do to them. I didn't want to learn anything else. I didn't want to learn any other
Mm.
vehicle because that's just kind of who we became known for. So that's just what we love, the caravans.
Jeffrey might know
Yeah.
something about a caravan or two.
I agree. I think it's got a small cabin area, definitely compared to like an Astrovan.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many caravans out there. It's like that there isn't anything wrong. Like they know what they're doing if you got a caravan. So it's like almost like a CRX. Like when you want to step up from a CRX, you want to do like some kind of van and you just kind of it's either Astrovan or a caravan, whatever you're working with, and what you know what to do and how to apply it, I guess. So if it works, hey, works.
Yeah. What year was your caravan, Jeffrey?
I think it was I want to say a 89. So it was actually a Plymouth Voyager.
Same thing.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Yeah,
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 kind of.
and Steve Willis post in here. Yeah, but you still have to put in the time and the money in on any vehicle. It
Yeah,
does. It's not magic.
yeah, especially with Jay. So when you bought the caravan, it didn't have any audio in it, right? It was just
right.
stock. So yeah, yeah, to literally start from scratch.
Yeah, literally start with all the sawzall blades and everything, and then went down to my local metal guy and $5,000 worth of steel later. Yeah, it began. It was no turning back at that point.
Yeah. Um, another thing we like to do on here is, because we know everybody is not just a car stereo guy, right? So we like to talk about, our families and what we have in common with each other, because ultimately, you know, when we're doing the car audio, we are like-minded people getting together. So this is another opportunity for us to talk about outside of car audio. What else do we do? So, how many you're married, kids? How many kids? What you got going on? Oh, yeah, I think Jay froze again.
Can you hear me?
There he is. There you go. I can
There
see.
it
Yeah,
is.
got you back.
Okay,
All right.
sorry. Married with 5 daughters, three in the house, three still in the house, two's grown and gone. Um, yeah, so and the dog is even a female. So I am the only male.
Uh-oh. You
You
get
are,
overruled a lot, huh?
yeah, you are out. You're outnumbered.
100%.
Yes.
Any of your daughters joining the military?
So yeah, actually, my second to oldest stepdaughter that's moved out of the house, she actually did 5 years in the Navy
Okay.
as well. Yeah, so I like to say I had something to do with that. You know, told her about the opportunity and everything.
Hmm.
So she did indeed go off, but she's actually got out and moved back since then.
Okay. Did you get a chance to go up and watch her graduate? Was it up in Michigan? Is that where she was
It
at?
was. It was, and it was actually Illinois, and
Okay.
yeah, I did not. I did
Oh.
not. That was kind of in the COVID area, and they only let
Oh.
a certain number of
Oh.
family members attend. So it was her mother, her sister, and grandmother was able to
Okay.
attend.
Yeah, I mean those are some proud moments too, especially somebody coming from that and whatnot. Seeing them because that's I mean obviously that's just like a first step. And then you also mentioned backstage before we got started out here. Your other daughters play softball, or all of them, or
Yeah. So my three littles, and I say little, but they're 8, 11, and 15. The 15-year-old and 8-year-old plays travel ball, softball,
uh huh.
as well as for the school, and then my 8-year-old is currently playing basketball um, for the local rec league. So yeah, we stay on the ball fields pretty much 10 months out of the year. We're always at some sporting event for sure.
Are you coaching any of that stuff, or
I am coaching my daughter playing basketball right now.
okay?
I did coach up until softball up until my now 15-year-old was probably, I would say, 12, because then at that point I had all three was playing softball and I couldn't commit to just one team. So
Mhm.
I actually took a back seat so I could start rotating, attending their games, three different times, three different fields, three different places.
Hmm.
It was chaos. So I could no longer coach at that point.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I mentioned backstage, whatever. So I kind of stepped back from DB drag for a couple of years. My middle daughter, she was a softball pitcher. She ended up going D1, full ride, was number 10 pitching stat wise in the country. Went to the World Series, all that stuff. So, so I was helping her in her plight to go to college, right? Because that's most every softball girl's dream is to play college softball at the D1 level. My daughter was very fortunate. She was good enough that she got to play on ESPN. She got to sit down after the
Cool.
World Series and sit in a room and all the press people pop 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 bopping, the lights flashing and all that, and taking pictures and asking her questions. So and the team she was playing on, they weren't gonna ever win it. But she, after that year, she told me, she goes, you know what, Dad, I've accomplished everything I've ever wanted to accomplish in softball. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So and not everybody gets those opportunities, right? To be that fortunate and that skilled to have that. So I mean, hopefully your daughters are, on that route or whatever. What position your daughter play?
So the 15-year-old's a catcher.
Okay.
She's actually had Division 1 training. We went to a D1 training in Lexington at the University of Kentucky this year.
Hmm.
We did a little week long camp with them girls, and I mean it was awesome. It was amazing just to expose her to that life and stuff. So my middle one, I don't know, she kind of took a year off, so she's not as competitive as my oldest one and my youngest one, but yeah, but my youngest one is just an outfielder or third baseman. But yeah, as far as my 15-year-old, she can play literally, and this is what I tell every coach. She literally can play any position
Hmm.
except for pitch. She's not scared to do anything, but she will not pitch.
Hmm.
There you go. I don't know. Are you familiar with Jessica Mendoza? and that group. And so Jessica is a coach, right, for UCLA, and she also does those clinics that you were talking about. I think she was a catcher for a while, but mostly she's known for outfielding and hitting, right? Um, that was one of my daughter's personal proudest moments. She went in the World Series game and pitched against UCLA, which was Inouye Perez, right, as the coach, and Lisa Fernandez, and two idols of hers. And from time she was 8 years old, she UCLA all the way. That's where she wanted to go. And so she pitched against UCLA, and UCLA had the opportunity to either grab her or Rachel Garcia. Now, Rachel Garcia, USA All American on the USA Olympic team as a pitcher, and this and that. So, obviously Rachel's really good, right?
Right.
But they picked my daughter, or they picked Rachel Garcia over my daughter. My daughter took that personal, and she no hit UCLA in the World Series. And
Wow.
so she was a freshman, and the Lisa Fernandez and Jessica Mendoza came up to her and told her, and she's, because as a freshman in college, your job is to go clean up after everybody, right?
Right.
So she's up there cleaning up the implements, picking up the tee, picking up the balls, folding the net, all that stuff. And Lisa Fernandez and Inouye Perez come up and shook her hand and said, "You pitched a phenomenal game today."
Cool.
That's
And
amazing.
that was probably her most amazing experience in college ball. And that's, I mean, not everybody gets those opportunities, so that's just freaking awesome. She pops in here all the time too, so she watches the podcast every once in a while. But so is my oldest daughter. My oldest daughter, she was a non-competitive theater type person. So, and then my son, he just got into bowling with me. So, you find each thing that you fit with your kids as they grow. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Jeffrey was doing jujitsu, right, with your daughter,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then acting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I made her come out there with me. She was too picky though.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, I'd book her for like certain shows and she's like, "Hey, is that a Disney show?" And I'm like, "No, but it's this one movie." And she's like, "Oh, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna do it." So I'm like, "Ah, okay." But
Yeah.
so
So,
speaking of amazing
yeah,
accomplishments, Jay,
yeah.
um, what would you say would be your most amazing accomplishment in the DB world?
Oh. Huh. Um. Well, I guess the first the first of a couple or three, I guess, would be the
Ah,
first six,
top three.
the first 60 at the headrest. It had never
Is
been
that
done, so
is that
I want.
Mecca?
Oh,
Oops, he froze.
yeah, Mecca, I
Oh,
believe
Mecca's
is
the
at
headrest.
at the
Okay.
headrest.
All right. When he gets back on here, we'll let him know he froze.
Yeah.
There he
Can you hear
is.
me?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So your first 60 at the headrest for Mecca.
The first 60 at the headrest.
Mm-hmm.
It had never been done in street class before I did it, so
Okay.
I wanted to do that.
Nice.
I wanted to do the first 70, but also at the headrest, but Bo beat me to it. So I was the second 70,
Uh,
and Gorman beat us to the first 76 in drag. So I guess to answer your question is literally just a month or so ago, when I did the loudest super street score ever at a 76.4 with the
Yeah.
OEM stock OEM cabin.
And that was against Bo.
That was
Speaking
against
of,
Bo. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I know you guys have had some, and you
epic.
talked a little bit about him being your rival, but I, it just seems like every year at DB Drag Finals, that was the showdown. Super Street 5 Plus, J. Cole and Bo Boren, it was locked. And there were some early on, I think he might have had your number, and then just recently, I think twice, like 2 years in a row, you kind of had his number. And when I say number, that's literally what is it, like a tenth, right? A tenth
Yeah,
difference between you and Bo, first place and second place, right?
yeah. We normally get each other by 300ths one year, two
Wow.
tenths the next year. I mean, it's crazy. I love it.
Hmm.
He's a very good dude. So
Oh yeah,
um,
yeah.
I like the sportsmanship between us. The rivalry because I mean we're driving each other to be louder, and
Yes,
it's not like
yes.
it's not like a hatred thing or anything like that. So
Hmm.
it's just kind of all fun and games. So I mean, it's just playing with radios, like Neil Barber says. So that's all it is.
Now, is that by design? Do you guys try to up each other just by a tenth, or is that just you
No,
giving it all she's got?
I we no, I can't speak on his behalf, but
Okay.
just from my behalf, yes, we turn it up. We change things throughout the year.
Hmm.
We gain a little bit here and there. We give it the click that she wants at finals, and it literally just luckily in my favor the last 2 years. The
Hmm.
last 7 out of 9 finals I've won DB drag. Yeah, so yeah, he got me in 22 in drag, and Chris Peters got me in 17 because my cones came apart. That's the only reason. But yes, we go back and forth in Mecca and DB drag. So yeah, it's back and
Mm.
forth. Yeah,
Oh, so it's through both of the organization you guys compete
yeah.
consistently. All right,
Wow.
that's cool. Tyler Archer says that was a nasty score. You
Thank
ain't
you.
wrong.
Did we talk about the exact score? Oh, that's right. Yeah, 76, right? Some change.
76.4.
Wow.
76-4.
Yeah.
Yep. Eric Hansen says, "Are you gonna ever try base race and top dog? I mean, you are in Tennessee."
So Chris Gregory has been wanting me to do base race literally forever. I literally did it 2 or 3 years ago because nobody was in it, and I still got second place. So it was never meant to be for me. But I don't have the patience.
It's true.
I'm not a clamp class guy. I'm a show what you got guy. So that I think that's where I differ. I want to go put it on the table,
Yeah.
and I have no control, so I just throw it all out there. So I don't want to go in the lanes and do a little number. I always want to show a big number. So um, I don't, to answer your question, I did promise Chris I would do 59.9. I just don't know when, but I will.
No, you know what? So I know you're in the Tennessee base racers. So has Chris had a profound effect on your ability to compete and um, by offering shows and support and whatnot? So how does Chris affect what you do?
Absolutely. Good question. So when I did meet up with Gary, he kind of brought DB drag to this area because all Tennessee, all Nashville knew at the time was Mecca. 2010, 2011. That's all I knew. So I met Gary. He was a DB drag guy, so um, he started doing the shows, and then when Gary moved back to North Carolina, where he's from, um, Chris Gregory kind of kept DB drag going in this
Hmm.
area, so it allowed me to keep my interest and my goals, alive. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Versus having to drive or do other organizations that I mean I wasn't interested in at the time. I mean, I have my two main orgs, and
Hmm.
everybody knows that. So yeah, I mean Chris Gregory means a lot to us in this area for sure because he always supporting us, and we always try to support him.
Yep. I do find that the judges in a particular area, um, Jeffrey has him where he is. I have him where I'm at. Chris has him where he is. Um, I think that as judges, we try to go out of our way to make sure you guys have what you need. Ray Choi up in Canada, right? Um, that people have an affinity for their judge. So I'm just, for anybody that's ever thought about being a judge, you will see the joy that it brings all the other people beyond what it does for you. So that's why I always suggest people, if you want to try, be a 1X judge, just host a couple of shows, and then as you grow into it, you will find there's so many more rewards to it than just judging a show.
So I got a
Go ahead.
comment about that.
Go ahead.
So for me, I know you guys remember Jeremy Weber, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So yeah, his voice to me was always like butter. It always
Yeah.
brought me like it didn't matter if it was somebody doing base race 29.9 or Super Street 3-4 or whatever it was. Anytime we had a unified finals or I was at a drag event, I just remember all the lights up and down, and I wasn't in drag yet,
Mm-hmm.
and they had the lights going up and down, and Jeremy was over there yelling, this score and this score, and I mean, it always made it like a main event, like a main attraction,
Yeah.
and it honestly invited me, to be a part of it. So I loved when he did it. I really did. I loved when he did it, and I like Jeremy Creamer too because I mean he makes things fun and funny.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of keeps it light, but I did want to add that I like Jeremy's touch he had on it. And matter of fact, Doug, wasn't you in you was in Owensboro, right, Doug?
I might have been.
I remember because
Yeah.
I can remember a certain way people do their, you know what I mean, they're commentating and they're announcing and stuff. It's not monotone, you actually say it with excitement, so we appreciate that. We just really do,
Yeah, and like I said, it's not just me. Like as Jay said, it's all the judges out there. Jay, I know you aren't on here a lot, but Jeffrey's first world championship, is that what you got? And that I'm his ringtone is me announcing his
right.
world championship.
Oh,
That's the
wow.
ringtone on his phone. So like I said, for him that was a special moment. It has a special voice to it, and
Yeah, it
that's why
probably wouldn't have been my ringtone if you were just, like Jay was saying, monotone.
right.
Hey, we got a winner.
Yeah,
It
Jeffrey.
probably wouldn't have been my
Congratulations,
ringtone.
buddy. I guess you're the world champion. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get the next guy in the lane, please?
It does make a lot of difference. You touched on the fact that judges, they make it personal. They make it a point to let the competitors know, that they are appreciated. And some orgs that I have competed in, they don't do that. So, I won't be back there. I go where I'm appreciated. And yeah, I love organization. And Jeremy would do that too. I mean, in DB Drag finals, hey, this is the next 3 guys. This is the next class.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. The less events, because we don't want to be there all day. We love doing what we're doing, but just like you guys, y'all don't want to be there all day. So I like an event. I like an event that's actually organized and not chaos.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not speaking against any other organization. I just know DB Drag. I've seen Jeffrey run some shows. I've ran them, and organization is key to what we do. I did Slamology, 113 cars in 6 hours. The last slam I did in flip flops.
I was gonna say in slides.
Yeah, that's right. Jeffrey liked my slides.
Slacks and
Slacks and slides, baby.
with
Come
socks.
on. With socks.
Slides and socks.
That's right. Calvin doing his thing again with you, Jeffrey, says, my ringtone is Baby Got Back in Jeff's phone. He's not sure why, though.
He must have snuck that in there on his phone.
But yeah, no, that, like I said, that's all the intrinsic value you get from being a judge. So when you are finally done as a competitor, what do you want people to remember you as in the competition scene as?
Ironically enough, I think Camino hit it on the nail on the head earlier. Like I'm just a humble person. I really am. I don't like to brag or make it any kind of mean like enemies or rivals. Like I like to set goals, and obviously achieve them. So I don't want to go out here and just compete. Obviously, I want to compete to win, but I want to do it gracefully, and that's my whole squad. We all stick together. We all have that mentality where we want to win, but we want to win.
But he wants to win.
It
No.
must be all those trophies
They're
messing with the
blocking the signal.
Wi-Fi. Yeah, I think
Blocking the
it's
signal. Yeah, we lost you there for a second. Jeffrey's proposing it's all the trophies behind you that are blocking the Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's messing up the Wi-Fi.
yeah, baby.
All right. Hey, so we are running up on our hour here pretty quickly. So Jeffrey, you want to hit him with the question?
Yeah. All right, Jay. This is a question that we asked all of our guests. Basically, we want to know what is your definition of a bass head?
My definition of a bass head.
Hmm.
I would say a bass head would be male or female, somebody that wakes up in the morning and
Okay.
they gotta have music. They gotta have music in their life. It's gotta be loud, and that's all they do is think about, getting louder. A bass head is that's all they dream about. That's all they think about immediately after finals because it happens to be every year. I think, man, I'm taking some time off. But no, the very next day, no, I'm on the phone with Mike Smiley. What can we do? What can we? I'm thinking this. What do you think about that? So I think that's my answer. A bass head is somebody that eats, sleeps, breathes
Yes.
music and loud music.
So
24/7, 365.
so does that mean you're the party at the softball field when you go?
Oh no, no, no.
What?
No, I do. I do.
Tailgating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do sit by the little DJ mama, but no, I'm not a very loud guy there. No.
You mean you don't bring your van out there to the softball field and play
No,
it for
no.
all the girls to check it out and
Oh,
do hair tricks with the softball girls?
no demo, bro. No demo.
No demo.
He's a no demo bro.
Uh-oh. Here's a question from somebody in Fort Worth asking if Gary's actually coming back this year. Maybe you know. Is that what?
Was that for Roger Bridges?
Oh man, you guessed it.
uh,
He's out of Fort Worth.
uh,
Yeah, he texted me. He said, "Ask Joe if Gary's actually coming back."
yeah, that's funny. Nah, Gary, yeah, man. Yeah, I wish. I can't answer for him. I know that
Hmm.
he actually dusted his van off the other day and started it up.
What?
So that's a first step. I mean, so I would love to see his van back in the lane. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, I'll let him know.
All right. That's good. That's good stuff right there. Um, Hey, so anybody that you'd like to do some shout outs to, sponsors, whatever you got going on, Jay?
Just the companies that support me and I support them, and that's Excess Power, Sean Mayo, Scotty Johnson, Sundown, Jacob, Scotty, Brian, Chamberlain, all them guys. They take care of me, and any weekend, even if it's the weekend before finals, they always take care of me and and all of my squad. So, and then shout out to the rest of them black shirt boys.
Ah.
Mechman?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, Mechman up there.
I got my little alternator on there. It supports my little 12-volt part of thing. So yeah, I guess she's important too.
There you go. I just saw the banner
Mhm.
behind you. That's all I said. So, how would people find you, social media, whatnot? Maybe follow some of your builds. Do you do anything with that? Or,
Yeah, Instagram,
okay.
DBRevJ, I be the J, and then of course Facebook, J Co. Probably year and a half ago, I got hacked, so
Oh,
I got a new account. Probably only a few hundred followers right now, but I don't know. I just took it.
That's how he got hacked. His internet kept
Oh no,
freezing.
he's getting hacked right now as we speak.
Night.
All
Uh-oh.
right, there he's back.
Are there pictures of your build on any of the social media? Like, do you have like
uh,
actual build pics? Like, you built your
Steel
wall
and
to
all that. Yeah.
yeah.
no. So
No.
no, no. So unlike my friends at Soundcheck, I'm not an open book.
Ah,
You know,
oh.
I will help somebody to an extent, but I'm not going to give you my measurements or anything like that. You know, because at the end of the day, I'm spending my kids' college money on this, so I'm not. No,
They
I'm
better
not
get a
fixing to.
scholarship.
Yeah, I'm not fixing to give you the recipe to beat me. So no.
But there's like some kind of pictures, like obviously like exterior pictures or uh
I'm
of
sure.
your
Yeah,
van,
I'm sure
right?
that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There's definitely exterior pictures, but not
Okay.
too many interior. Even when we text them in the group chat, we automatically delete after. So
Oh, no way.
All right.
That's funny.
Yep. All right, Jeff, what you got going on?
Nothing much. Just I guess waiting on my Bitcoin to make me a millionaire, I
Dude,
guess.
it jumped. It really
It's
jumped the
it,
last
it
couple weeks.
it's getting up there. It's getting up there. So until that happens, just living life, I guess.
Is it Doji? You got the Doji or you got Bit?
Yeah, yeah, I got Doge also, a little bit of Shiba,
Okay.
uh, you know.
Did you get any of the Tesla or whatever the what's his name is doing the Elon one?
Oh, well, I think he's doing the Doge,
Oh, is that
the
what he's
Doge, but
doing?
yeah. So
Okay.
he's like the guy behind that. So,
Okay.
that's going up and Bitcoin's going crazy and
Yeah, I
I don't
heard
know.
Tesla stock tripled.
Oh, I,
So, yeah. I mean, I know you ain't buying no Tesla stock.
no,
That ain't cheap.
I don't know too much about Tesla stock, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
All right.
what's going on.
Cool. Any Toys for Tots or anything trying to schedule? Got anything?
Not on the calendar just yet.
Okay, got some stuff working in the background potentially.
Yes, yeah.
All right, cool. That's really cool. That's Toys for Tots. Another one thing that's been a big part of what we did. We did the first one out here
Oh yeah.
with Brian Nyman, and since his passing, it's been. I don't think we're gonna do it this year.
Mm.
It's just tough. He's the one that had the connections to take it to the Shriners, Battered
Mm.
Women's Shelter, great charities. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna be having one this year, as far as I know. I
Mm.
did see Ray Aragon, I think, down in Fresno,
Oh,
potentially
okay.
having Toys for Tots. Somebody mentioned that to me, so if you guys want to do that, I always suggest every mall has a Toys for Tots section. Support your local people. Um, you know, all support needs to start at home. So you
Mm.
can't reach out unless you can take care of yourself first, right? So take care of your
True.
house, and then you can reach out to other houses and help them out afterwards. So take care of your local people. Like I said, I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do. I may do a Toys for Tots, but if I do, it's gonna be way localer, you know, because that's an hour and 40 minutes up to Sacramento. So if I do one, I will do one close by.
Yeah, definitely. And if there isn't a show or sound off competition hosting a Toys for Tots, it doesn't mean
Right.
that or you can still donate a toy to the
Mm-hmm.
Toys for Tots program. Don't let an event not happening in your area
Mm-hmm.
that's a Toys for Tots stop you from donating a toy.
Yeah. Just even saying it right here that I might not. I would say the odds are much higher of me doing one. So
Mm, I
it's
gotcha.
just, the reason I still judge car stereo is because I don't want to take that opportunity away from everybody and of winning a championship. And what kind of person would I be if I took away the opportunity of a child to have a toy, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think the odds have increased in the last 10 minutes of whether or not exponentially on whether or not I'm going to do a Toys for Tots event. Yeah. Yeah. Damn it.
You got to do it now.
Damn it. I just got to figure out what weekend I can do it. So, but anyway, yeah, so look on the calendar. You guys out here in Northern California, look for Toys for Tots. For me, I'm going to start talking to some people and see. I got to see what days I can get available. And then once I have the days available, then I got to figure out, what I'm going to do. So, all right. With that being said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Want to thank our sponsors once again: E-Box, Bass, Badass Sounds by Steve. If you guys want to support somebody, supports the people that support us. Let them know that you heard about them from T.W.I.C.A or This Week in Cardio. If you get an opportunity, please smash the like, subscribe button on Facebook, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Twitch apparently is starting to come up, so let's get some Twitch following going on. But, yeah, just be part of the community. Make a bunch of fake email accounts and get us some subscribers.
Yes. Anybody have any access to some bots? We really appreciate it.
Yeah. But all right, guys, I want to thank you guys once again for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
We'll see you. I'm trying to think who we're going to have on here next week. Matt R says peace. I'm going to see who we're going to have on here next week. We'll start reaching out to some people. Would love to get somebody from New Zealand. When I saw Jody on here, that'd be cool. Because we've only had Jody on here. We haven't had any of their competitors. Mm-hmm. So we like to see the people from around the world and whatnot. But hopefully we can get one of them on next week. Once again, we'll see you guys next week at 5:30 California time, the only time that matters. See you on This Week in Cardio. Peace. We out of here.